Good evening, and we apologize for the delay. Just having a bit of technical difficulties, but as always, we promise to come to you every night at 6 p.m. We are a bit late, obviously, but we apologize, and we're still going to run the program as is planned. And tonight, we are going to bring you a giant, another giant in our community, and her name is Dr. Olutoyin Oyedale. And she's also, for us as an organization for the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, she has actually provided training for some of our participants as we provide leadership training. And so they have a program at EP, downtown Toronto, that provides leadership training, business training, but also beyond that, there is another program that the organization runs, the CASA Foundation, which is called the Friends of Africa. That actually has an annual event, an annual conference every year. Obviously, during this COVID-19 pandemic year, they have decided to do it online. So I decided to do a phone call and see if we can actually do an interview, and we were able to speak earlier today. Okay, Dr. Olu, thank you for joining us. Obviously, this week you're preparing for a huge event. It's the 10th anniversary of Friends of Africa. Tell us more about this event and what it means to you.
Thank you so much, Kizzy, for having me on your program today. Really appreciate it. Friends of Africa started in 2011. We held our first meeting. It was a summit on the economic development of various parts and various regions of Africa. And we started in 2011. The goal of Friends of Africa from the get-go was to bring attention to the African diaspora and the opportunities inherent in Africa as a continent, and to rally African diasporans around the platform where people could actually talk about, the opportunities in Africa, the gains and benefits of working in the West, out here, Canada, North America, Europe, and look to having stakeholders, collaborators that could also replicate a few of the gains and the benefits of working in the West in different parts of Africa. Having worked in Africa myself for over 23 years before coming into Canada, I just thought it was the right thing to do, because once you see the benefits of working in a particular location, you're thinking of how to replicate those gains in your homeland. And that was actually the initial goal, However, as time, went by, we saw other opportunities to even develop the young population of the diasporans, to actually build competencies and skills also within startup groups that we found, budding entrepreneurs, looking for role models, looking to become successful and become more established in the West. And so half of the time we decided to also veer into entrepreneurship development as a part of Friends of Africa. And so this actually was how we started. But now we're celebrating the 10th year of Friends of Africa. So thankful to God, that we're actually opportune to see a day like that. And that's why the preparations is in full gear. We're looking forward to celebrating the 10th edition of Friends of Africa this time next week, from the 9th of October to the 11th of October. And I'm going to be telling you about a few of the plans that we have, if I get an opportunity to do that on your program tonight. But what's important really is that Friends of Africa largely focuses on the development of entrepreneurs, emerging leaders, creation of startup groups, and supporting those startup groups to gain the resources that they require, from capital to mentorship to partners in the community. That's what we stand for largely.
Amazing. And obviously, I started by asking you about the event that is coming up. I didn't ask you the most important question, which is, who is Dr. Olutoyin Oyedale? If somebody was to ask, who is Dr. Olutoyin Oyedale?
Okay. Who is Dr. Olutoyin Oyedale? Well, I am actually an investment banker, and that's what I've done for upwards of 23 years of my life. Started out as an investment banker and had a huge thing. A major career was built on that. for 23 years in a large banking group from out of Africa, Intercontinental Group. And from there, I moved over to Canada and started out as an entrepreneur and entrepreneurship because of some of the investments that we had made, in as an investment banker. I moved on into to becoming an investor, and from an investor, then I went into entrepreneurship because it became imperative that all the investments that we had made become successful. And so that's how I ventured into entrepreneurship. Now, entrepreneurship is actually a major part of my life. It's my day-to-day, my primary responsibility to ensure that the investments that we have made as a group become very successful. So, the question is, who is Olutoyin Oyedale? I would say I'm an investor, I'm an entrepreneur, and I'm an author because I write a lot also, and I have books published now. So that's who I am. Largely, the investment part takes a large portion of my time because we largely focus on investments in real estate. And the real estate investments in most parts of Africa, including the water parks, that is actually based out of Nigeria. So we run and manage that in partnership with a lot of other groups. But right here in Toronto, the most recent investment will be Entrepreneurs Point, which is an incubator for entrepreneurs. And so that actually tells you why I have become so interested in entrepreneurship. And I had to actually, roll up my sleeves and become an entrepreneur myself because starting from scratch, not knowing anybody at all, and then settling down in a country like this and looking to become an entrepreneur actually entails a lot of marketing, sales job, which I really hadn't done so much of. And so I had to actually get down to the basics and nitty gritty of learning how to market, learning how to sell after making the investment with our partners. And so I hope that answers your question in a nutshell.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, for us, obviously, for me, as the founder and executive director of the Rwandan Canadian Healing Center, we've had the pleasure of having you as a trainer for some of our participants. So we know what you do, we know what EP Academy is about. Of course, you have CASA Foundation and EP itself. How do you get time to do all of this, and what is maybe the word of encouragement you give to people who are looking to become entrepreneurs, or who are maybe facing all this hard work but think, oh man, this work never ends? How do you manage to do that, and what can you encourage other people to do to be able to actually achieve their goals?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. I'm going to answer in three parts. The first part is when you have a goal and you have something you're passionate about, you've just got to give it your very best. And, a lot of people have the goals, they have a dream, and they can envision the dream of where they're heading. They just don't understand how to get there. And most people start like that. The usual thing, and what we see quite often from my teaching experience in the last few years, is that a lot of people chicken out because they're faced with a lot of adversities in the course of trying to actually execute or fulfill those dreams that they have. What is important is to start by setting out the goal. When you set out a goal, then because it's a dream, you understand that there is something you're working towards. Not having a goal or a dream and then running, to pursue or to execute actually gets people tired. And there's so many things that can actually get you tired in running a business, from the adversities of life to facing various customer challenges or issues with capital. Maybe the capital is actually drying up because you never imagined that you would need to, expend so much on a particular project or a venture or a service. So the goal keeps you going. Setting your purpose. What is this about? What am I to do? How do I need to do it? Who are the people already doing it? Why are they doing what they're doing? What can I learn from them? Do I have mentors that I can learn from? Do I have people in the business world as partners, or who are already partners with other groups, that I can actually book a part of their time and learn from them. This actually helps me along the way. So the truth of the matter is that purpose set me thinking, and the dream that I had, blended with the purpose, actually set me on the journey of achieving, the establishment of Entrepreneurs Point, EP Academy, like you mentioned, CASA Foundation, and such that those companies now started producing the dreams that I had, the dreams that I had set and the goal that I had set to achieve. So Friends of Africa, for instance, would be one of the dreams that we had in setting up CASA Foundation. And so CASA Foundation started, giving to shelters, supporting shelters, making donations. But we wanted something specific that people could point to as the result of CASA Foundation itself, the impactful result. And so that impactful result, we set out, creating the platform called Friends of Africa, so that people could come to that platform to learn. You're looking to start a business, you're looking to get partners, you're looking for capital. Where can you really get that at a sitting, including the mentors who have actually executed various businesses and parts of their own purpose, and you might be able to learn from them. And so that was exactly what we said to do with Friends of Africa. And as you can see, a lot of people now rallied around that platform to learn, to meet, to connect with partners, and also to connect with some bankers. But after starting Friends of Africa, we realized that it was important to talk about the economic development of nations, Africa generally, other parts of Toronto, Canada, the United States. However, if business people or the professionals talking or looking to learn more in the economic development of Africa, if they were yet to develop the capacity for themselves in building their own businesses, in being settled at their own professional work, they would not be so effective in contributing actually to the development, the larger development of Africa. And so that's where we started, how we started Entrepreneur Exchange. It was by forming Entrepreneur Exchange as another forum that could actually cater to the needs of these young entrepreneurs, professionals, groups, where they could learn from people who had founded a venture, a service provider, and gain some confidence that if somebody like maybe Kizzy himself or Olu or other people in the community could have started a business like this or a service provider like that, then I can also replicate it or do something in line with my own dreams and purpose. That's how it out. We found that the more people came to those forums, the more they became encouraged when they saw people like them doing great things. They became more encouraged. They could meet bankers. We always have bankers, private equity funds, and so on at all of these conferences, so people can actually learn from them and go on and execute their dreams. So those were some of the things we did, and those were the ways we learned. By having that purpose and the dream, and by moving to the next step of actually executing by way of learning from the people ahead.
We will get back to the interview in a minute. I just wanted to also introduce you to some of what CASA Foundation does with Friends of Africa. Obviously, this year they are not going to be able to do it live as they usually do, but we thought we'd show you a video of what they did last year, and this is Friends of Africa for 2019.